guys, welcome to the channel. Up today we're going to take a look at my favorite revolver, and that is the Ruger new Vaquero Bird's Head in 45 ACP. Now, just real brief, new Vaquero, everybody knows it's kind of like a more robust Colt single action army clone. This one is a Taylor exclusive, so I believe it's a 3-inch-ish barrel. It does have the Bird's Head grip, which a lot of people really hate, as did I at first, but I did get used to it over time. This one is featuring some buffalo horn grips, so kind of cool there. And then I have put wolf springs into it, and we'll get into why I did that here in a minute. This gun is a 6-shot stainless steel, and it feeds 45 ACP, which is the only thing it's chambered in, and I really like that because if you follow the channel, you know that's one of my favorite handgun cartridges, and I normally carry a 1911. The other really cool thing with this being a 45 ACP is that you can speed load from 1911 magazines, and it's faster than just individually loading one at a time from like a box of ammo or out of your pocket. So that's really cool. Now this gun, like a lot of newer Rugers, has had its problems. The reason that it has those springs in it is because of the lock time, meaning the time from when it's cocked. You guys don't need to know if this is loaded or not, right? Right, because you can't get shot by it, and nobody's that way. It's unloaded. But no, the lock time from here when you pull the trigger to when the hammer falls and actually sets the round off was quite a long time as it came out of the factory. So much so that your trigger movement would move the gun before the round even went off. And I just kind of dealt with it. I thought, okay, you know, it's a Ruger, that's just how they are. Until I shot someone else's, and that was not the case. Well, I went ahead and put wolf springs into this to try to make that trigger pull at least lighter to where I didn't disturb the gun when I fired it. I didn't see anything that looked crazy on the inside when I had it apart, but yet that lock time was still really, really slow, even with the wolf triggers giving it a better trigger pull. Long story short, this gun got to the point where I would go to cock it at first on recoil, going to thumb it back here, it would hang up about right here, just would completely lock up. Then it got to the point, okay, if I do it down here, it will go ahead and cock. And it got to the point where finally, no matter what you did, it would just lock up about right here. And you couldn't do anything, couldn't spin the cylinder, nothing. You have to ease the hammer down. Then you can open the loading gate and spin the cylinder. Well, I carry this gun, concealed carry, believe it or not. I enjoy shooting it, and I don't want something with issues. So I went ahead and called Ruger. I did have to pay $20 shipping, or at least pay the shipping in anyway, which is around $20, $25, because this is older than 2 years old. So, okay, what do? You pay the shipping. Long of the short, gun comes back, the hammer was out of spec. They put a new hammer in it, and then with these wolf springs, the trigger pull is almost too light now. I'd say it's like 2 pounds. Not a fan. So the factory springs are going back into it. I prefer a trigger with around 4 to 6 pounds is really kind of where I want it. With the factory springs, you get pretty close to that. So I will be going back to those. And in fact, while making this video, I did touch that trigger off a little bit too soon in one of the clips, which I'll throw up here. Which is why you know your target and what lays beyond it, right? So yeah, anyway, light triggers of myself, not a friend. I like a little heavier, more crisp trigger that's predictable. Now, with this gun, the shooting experience. If you've ever shot a single action army, you've ever shot a Vaquero, nothing like those. And that's because of the Bird's Head grip. So it is kind of a beast to get used to this grip, right? It's not very natural. The reason that it's popular is because back in the day, this made for an easy gun to conceal, not having the plow style grip. And believe it or not, back then they even had appendix inside the waistband holsters that would fasten to your suspender buttons inside your pants, which is really cool. If I can find a picture of that, I'll throw it up here. But concealed carry was very much a part of daily life back in the day, and this is kind of an homage or speaks to the heritage of that design. The reason I like it is for the same reason they did back then. It's easy to carry. It is a heavy gun, but it doesn't print much with the t-shirt even, as long as you use a good quality holster, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But long of the short, this grip does make it very challenging to shoot. I wear a size small glove, but really just borderline to where I probably need a medium, so not very big hands.
If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee.
But anyway, when you grab this, I lose my pinky. Now I can grip high on the gun and get up here and do this, but the problem is when you do that, the gun really wants to slip back like this, and it's not super comfortable. Now, when you hold it down here, the gun is still going to want to roll up, and no matter what you do, it'll do that because of the shape of the grip. No matter how good a firing grip you have, this gun is going to roll up. It's just part of it. But when I tuck my finger underneath, or I just loosely hold with it here, it's enough that I can stop it before it whacks my hand, and I can comfortably, as the gun is up here in recoil, re-grip and come back down and fire again. But that took probably 600-700 rounds to kind of develop that habit, to develop that relationship with this gun. But now that I've got that figured out, I actually enjoy shooting it, and I can shoot it fairly rapidly, despite the fact that it's doing this every single time and I'm having to readjust my grip. It's like anything, practice makes perfect. So for me, again, I'll either grip it here and lose the pinky, which I'm used to for small carry guns, or I'll just kind of grip up just a little bit. But I've got enough play here that, again, under recoil, I can kind of tame that back down as the gun's here. As I'm settling back down on target, I just simply re-grip, thumb it back, and I'm ready to go again. So, not the most intuitive. It is something you have to learn, but now that I've learned it, I love it. I love this gun. And I can make, I wish I would have done it for this video. I believe I have in some other shorts. If not, I'll do one here soon. But I can make 40 to 50 yard shots on an 8-inch gong with this, which is pretty impressive for a gun this size. So speaking of recoil, I talked about how this likes to ride up whenever you're shooting it. As far as what it feels like to shoot, it's a big, heavy revolver, and so it does really tame down 45 ACP. And I know those of you who shoot 1911s, 45 ACP doesn't really recoil that much. In a revolver, they can. It's a higher pressure cartridge, but with this being such a big gun, it's a gentle giant. It's a nice, gentle roll. It's not bad, especially for a wheel gun. Out of all the 45 revolvers I've shot, this is the most comfortable. So I wouldn't be intimidated by recoil or anything like that. The one thing I would say is that for a new shooter, this grip angle might be a challenge. So if this is something you want to teach somebody on, maybe go with the 38 version. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a very pleasant gun to shoot. Last year, I took this out alternative deer hunting with me. I didn't see anything worth shooting, but I feel confident enough to even hunt with this gun at short ranges. Now, as far as carry, which is the main reason that I really like this gun, other than just the general aesthetics, and the caliber being the big one. Take my jacket off here. Which, if anybody's wondering, this is an Americana Pipe Dream bomber jacket. Absolutely love it, worth the money, and you guys support companies that do American-made products. Now, holster, simply rugged, pancake-style holster. Okay, gun fits nice and tight. I can carry this inside the waistband if I want to, but I found that this really isn't bad when it comes to printing. Drop that down, it's not terrible. I'll set this back just in case I'm not in frame, but again, not terrible. If you need it, it's right there. So, all in all, really not a bad gun to carry if you're comfortable with carrying a single action revolver, which really begs the question, is it necessary? Should you carry one? And the answer is no. However, carry what you like to carry. I work in a gun shop most days. I also work a full-time job in a factory, but it is my gun shop, so I can do whatever I want in there. And I like to carry something that's got some heritage. I like to carry something unique. And when I'm wanting to show somebody a revolver or a different type of revolvers, you know, the thing today is double single action or double action only carry guns. It's refreshing to pull something out like this, let the customer handle it. And then while these are very hard to get, I can occasionally get these from Lipsy's. So they are out there, and they make them in a bunch of calibers, 357, 44 mag, 45 ACP, 45 Colt. They made them in stainless and blued, but they are very hard to come across. So, and this is actually my second one of these. The first one, like an idiot, I got rid of. And as soon as I saw this years later, I pounced on it, and I will never get rid of this gun. It is just phenomenal. The finish is pretty good. A couple of the screws were slightly marred up when I got it out of the box. Again, new. I mean, it was pre-owned, but not fired. I cleaned those up, so not a big deal. But I have seen them where they're scratched and things like that. And you can see my short on Ruger quality control where I kind of talk about what to watch for on Rugers. This gun was no exception. It wasn't exempt from that. There were some little issues cosmetically, but not enough that I was going to be upset with it. This is a carry gun for me. It's going to get wear and tear as it has scratches, scuffs, things like that from carry. So with the Vaquero, the reason that I went with this over, say, like a U-Birdie or Taylor's or someone else's clone with a bird's head grip is a couple of reasons. One, I do have a soft spot for the Colt single action Army. I do really like them. However, their springs are not as durable as the coil springs in a Ruger. That's number one, durability. The Rugers are built like a tank. Even though they're mostly cast, they are very solid and they're made to last a long time. So that's why I went with this. Reason number two, transfer bar safety. I want that transfer bar safety in there. I want to carry 6 rounds. And I think you do kind of give up a little bit with that safety and those springs when it comes to trigger pull. So yeah, I do prefer the Vaquero in a single action revolver. So I really like this gun. They're fun to shoot once you learn the recoil pattern, once you learn the gun, the trigger, and how to use this. The sights are your standard. Hopefully that'll kind of come through. If not, I know there's footage from the beginning of the video where you could see the sights, just kind of standard sights. But yeah, all in all, very fun gun to shoot, very fun gun to carry. It is concealable should you want to do that, and I recommend them. They're, especially in 45 ACP, if you have a 1911, you should have one of these. They are awesome. So yeah, just kind of quick review, a bunch of me rambling, but if you guys have questions about this or any other guns I've done reviews on, just drop it down below in the comments. I do have Instagram now, so go check it out, Red Baron Reviews, and I appreciate your support and your viewership. As always, stay free.